So we'll discuss today about the Java class fundamentals.
Okay.
Just increase the font. So this is okay. Fine. So today's we'll discuss more about these local variables. I already told something about the local variable. If you remember,
Yeah.
we'll discuss more about it. Then instance variable, and what are the static variable? Do you remember what is a static variable?
Static variable. Yeah. I remember. Just let me recall it. Mm, it is.
Hmm.
Mm, just let me see my notes.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think it's. We define a class,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
at that.
Yeah. Tell me.
So when we define the class, I think we use the static variable. We need
Yes.
to declare a variable, and
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So static basically, when we declare this any variable or any method as a static, we cannot create any instance of that. So
yeah.
that method or that variable is not part of our object. When we create any object of any particular class, okay,
Hmm.
so that variable or that method is not part of that object.
Yeah.
We can access this static method or static variable using its class name, okay,
Yeah.
and throughout the program, okay, throughout the
Hmm.
program, this value cannot be changed.
Okay.
It will have only one value at a time of any particular class. There will be only one copy of that static variable. Okay,
Okay.
we cannot have like multiple values assigned to any static variable in a
Hmm.
particular class. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Then we'll talk about static and non-static methods. After that,
Okay.
fifth one is I will talk about the constructor. This is the more important thing, and you'll get a lot of interview question on this constructor.
Okay.
This is more important.
Okay.
Then after uh, this overloading concept, we'll talk
Hmm.
about overloading. Okay, method overloading. I would say.
Okay.
Then constructor overloading.
Okay.
Right? Constructor overloading. Fine. So, what is a local variable? In basically I think we discussed about it. What is the local variable? What is instance variable? That is object within object. The variable we get from the object, that is called instance variable. Instance means the object, right, of a particular
Yeah.
class. So
Like
yeah, tell me.
it has only one scope, local variable, that its scope is defined to one particular thing itself.
Yes, so local is something within a method, right? Within a method,
Yeah.
if we declare any variable, that is
Hmm.
called local. Okay,
Okay.
let me just give you one example. Just let me create one class for it. And I think today is 14th class. Let me create one package for today.
Okay.
So go to this new, then package, day 14, then finish it. Then once package is being created, just go to the new again, then create class,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the class fundamental.
Okay.
Do practice, more and more the code so that it would be easy for you to understand
Sure. Sure.
later on, right? Because these are the more important concept for interview point of view. So it is
Mm-hmm.
good if you could just remember and
Sure.
practice more and more things. Okay, so class is being created. Now I'm just gonna
Yeah.
write one main function. So what is the purpose of writing a main function? Can you just tell me?
Main function is the initialization. We do some initialization, like uh, main is basically the body of the function, I can say.
Yes, main is a part of any class, okay, from where the execution starts. Okay,
Okay.
when the compiler compiles any particular class, okay, so it will
Mm-hmm.
start from the main function. Main is the public
Okay.
static void main. This is the I can say from here, line number 5, this program, okay, compiler will come to this first, okay,
Yeah.
before going anywhere. It will come to this particular line, and from here whatever I have written within my class, it will start executing, start
Yeah.
compiling. Okay, once compilation is done, then a dot class file will be created. Okay, and that
Okay.
dot class file will be converted into bytecode. Okay,
Okay.
and that bytecode, that will run the JVM will run that dot class files. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
then only we'll get the result in our console. Fine.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, what is a local variable? This is my one function, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
So if it is my function, whatever I have written, int Aditya,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is a declaration. Declaration. Okay. Once I declare any variable within any function, this is also one function, right?
Yeah.
This is the structure of function. So this is called local variable. Okay,
Yeah.
local variable. Then if I want to just print it,
Mm-hmm.
SYSO, okay, just wanted to print it, value local variable
Mm-hmm.
is, I can say, it's Aditya.
Yeah.
Aditya is a variable name, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
But it will give you some error over here. What the error is saying, the local variable Aditya may not have been initialized. So
Yeah.
The
We need
most
to declare like I is equal to Aditya first.
correct, correct. So the most important thing in
Mm-hmm.
local variable, I can say within a bullet point.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the bullet points? Okay, fine, no problem.
Okay.
I would say star local variables need to be initialized
Okay.
Initialized before its use. Okay,
Yeah.
so in here, this is a local variable. We have not initialized it. We just
Okay.
declared it. Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
So how to initialize this local variable or any variable? How to initialize it? We need to assign some value, right?
Yeah. Like I is equal to Aditya or something.
Aditya equals some integer value, correct?
Yeah.
Integer value, anything 20, 30, or anything,
Yeah.
correct? So this
Yeah.
is called initialization.
Yeah. So we'll get the answer 20, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Let's run it.
Yeah.
Run as a application. See what's the answer.
20.
Correct. 20 is the answer.
Yeah.
So I'll just write down this thing
Sure.
here. Okay, so the output was 20.
Yeah.
And uh, then second thing, the second thing is the creation of object. I'll be doing one more thing. Instance variable.
Okay.
So how to create an object? I told you to create an object of any particular class. What we need to do? Just can you recall anything that you remember?
Yeah.
How to create object of a particular class? I told you the syntax how to create an object of a class, right?
Yeah. Object of a particular class, I think it will be
Mm-hmm.
create. We have to create an object that I remember. It would be obj. I think it's a obj function.
Correct, correct. You remembered it partially, but yeah, good. So how to create an object is the class name first.
Yeah.
One second. Class name space obj name object name. Correct.
Yeah.
Equals new is the keyword. Then class name
Okay.
and this thing. Right.
Class name. Yeah.
So let's create one thing over here. Just let me remove this for the time being. Okay, fine. So how to create object of this class? The
First,
class
we will
name,
write,
class name, correct? What is the class name
yeah,
over here? This is the
funda, yeah.
class fundamentals,
So it would be some class fundamentals is equal to some new object, like new function, maybe.
right? Then object name we can give. Okay,
Yeah,
we can write the obj name or anything you can give, right? Then
yeah,
new the keyword, correct?
yeah,
In the class name. Now we created one object reference of a particular class in this class. Whatever
yeah,
present within this class globally, okay, we can
yeah,
access it. Suppose I have one function over here, public void, okay,
yeah.
employee. Suppose this is an employee function is
Mm-hmm.
present. Within that, I have written something system.output, system.out.println
Yeah,
inside employee function. So
yeah,
this is called a local, this is a function, okay, present within this particular class. So this object will contain this particular function. In class, I think object and class, there were, second class, I think we had discussed
yeah,
about this object and how to create the uh,
yeah,
object reference of a particular class, etc. We discussed about it.
yeah.
Okay. So once I write obj dot, it will give me all the methods present within this object.
Yeah,
Okay, class object. So you can see the employee that we have written over here is present within this,
yeah,
and it is coming from the class fundamentals reference. Okay.
yeah.
Now if you just click on that and try to run it, let's see what happens.
So it would be employee.
Inside employee function, right? So
Yeah.
this is being executed,
Okay.
correct?
Yeah.
And suppose I have int Aditya, int Aditya, correct? And
Yeah.
try to, okay,
Yeah.
Aditya is also present because it's a global variable of that
Yeah.
class,
Object employee. Inside employee.
correct?
Yeah.
So what's saying, it is saying try to declare this local to complete local variable declaration. Okay,
Okay.
syntax insert variable declaration. Okay, it is being declared, but you need to assign some value to it. So
Yeah.
I will give 10 over here, okay,
Yeah.
and try to print the value
Okay.
here. Wait one second. Let's see what happens when I try to print Aditya over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Let's try to run it. So what's the answer? Aditya is 0. Why? Because why Aditya is 0?
Mm,
Because it is a global variable. Okay,
yeah.
it is not within this local. And so once we declare any integer value, so default
Hmm.
value of any particular variable is 0 if it is
Yeah.
the integer type. Okay,
Yeah.
if it is string type, its default value is null.
Yeah.
So in this case, so this global variable can be accessed within this uh, any method. We can access this global variable. Okay,
Hmm.
but suppose I have Aditya inside this function only, and suppose
Okay.
it's 10. I have initialized it. Sorry, Aditya equals 10, and this is called local variable, correct?
Yeah.
And why it is saying error message over here? It's saying create field Aditya type in the class fundamental. It's saying there is no Aditya present within this class.
Okay.
Why? Because this Aditya is local to this function only. We cannot access
Okay.
this Aditya outside of this bracket. Okay,
Okay.
within this confinement, this Aditya is only be accessible.
Okay.
Okay, outside this function, we cannot access this local variable. That's why it's saying, hey, this object, okay, doesn't contain Aditya,
Okay.
but this employee will contain. Once we try to print this employee, within that, this Aditya value will be present
Okay.
because that is local to that employee function only. So let's run it.
Okay.
Once you run it, it will see Aditya is 10. Correct?
Yeah.
Getting?
Yeah.
Okay. So creation of object is done. How to create object, or how the instance variable is. Say example. 1 second. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is done for instance variable, or how to create an object of a particular class.
Hmm.
Okay. Then let's see about the constructor.
Okay.
I think we left with the static variable. I think I have already covered about the static variable. Let's do it once again.
Hmm.
Okay, static is a keyword or modifier, as we know, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Static is a modifier.
Yeah.
The second one, static variables are declared outside the method and constructor.
Okay.
Static variable, this is more important. Okay,
Okay.
static
Yeah.
variables are declared outside the method and constructor.
Okay.
Methods and constructors. What is the constructor? We'll talk more about it. Okay. So it's saying static variables are declared outside the method and constructor. Then the next point, if the static variable is not initialized, it takes the default value, correct?
Yes.
If we don't initialize, okay,
Yes.
it will take default value. If it is
Yes.
integer, the default value would be 0. If it is string, the default value would be null, correct?
Yeah.
There is only one copy of static variable that exists for a particular class. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is more important point. There is only one copy available for a static
Yeah.
variable throughout the class. Okay, throughout the class, and this is more important. Only one copy is present.
Yeah.
We cannot assign another value to it. Okay, once we try
Yeah.
to once we try to assign any other value, so the previous value will be replaced with a new value,
Yeah.
correct? It is a directly we can see we can directly access it using class
Yeah.
name. Within a non-static, okay, non-static methods or functions,
Okay.
okay, we can access a static variable, okay, directly
Yes.
without using
Okay.
any without creating any object.
Yeah.
Okay, in constructor also we can access directly.
Yeah.
Constructor is nothing but it's similar to a method, okay,
Okay.
but it has some more important features. We'll talk about it. Methods and constructor. Then after, static variable can be accessed through the class name, object name, and within a and directly within the static variable. If it is a static method, okay,
Yeah.
within a static method, we can access static variable
Yeah.
using. So what are the methods? We can use the using class name,
Yeah.
or using object name
Okay.
within the static method, right? We can using object name also we can access it, or directly also.
Yeah.
Let's see how this thing works. Okay, so okay, so fine. I have one static method. I'm
Okay.
just taking one static method over here, and let's see how it works.
Okay.
Fine. So this is my main. So I would say public static, then a void, and this employee. It is saying, so you can see there is a yellow color mark is there. What it is saying? Just try to read it.
Okay. Just yeah.
The static method employee from the type class fundamental
Change.
in a static way.
Yeah.
Okay. It's saying you can access it. Okay, in a static
Yeah.
way. How to do it? First, the object using object name also we can access it. Let's run it.
Hmm.
If it is running fine or not. Okay, yes, we can able to run it.
Yeah.
And if I do not create any object, suppose
Yeah.
I'm not creating any object, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just writing this employee
Okay.
method. Okay, you can see there is no error over here. And okay, fine, I'll be having another class, another function also.
Yeah.
Public void, suppose salary employees, and there is another method called salary, correct?
Yeah.
It is a non-static method, and this one is a static method. Why?
Yeah.
Because we have written one static,
Yeah. We have written the static word there.
right? Static method, and this one is non-static method.
Yeah.
Okay, and here I have written, I'll be writing, I can say, within non-static method, and similarly if I try to access this salary method also, let's see what happens. Am I able to access it? What is saying? No, you need to salary need to change into static. If you
Yeah.
try to access directly, you should have this is as a static. Non-static
Yeah.
methods cannot be accessed directly. So how to access non-static variables? Using objects,
Yeah.
right? Objects of that class. Create one object, and obj is the object name. Let's try to access this using us. Is the is there any method present within this object? Can you just find it? Salary is present.
So, yeah.
It is coming from. class fundamentals, correct?
Yeah.
And you can remove this thing. Okay, so this is called a instance variable or instance method.
Okay.
Instance method. Why? Because it can only be accessed through the instance. Okay, instance, that is mean the object. Okay, instance is similar to object, or the synonym of instance is object. Okay,
Okay.
so that is why this is salary, and we can say it's a non-static method is called an instance method.
Okay.
Fine. Now there was another thing I think we have written: object name, class name, and directly. Correct.
Yeah.
Another thing, if it is a static method, we can call this employee using the class name as well.
Okay.
This class name dot, you can see employee is present. Correct.
Yeah.
But salary is not present using class name.
Yeah.
Salary is present? No. Correct.
No.
Because it's an instance method, and that can
Yeah.
only be accessed using the object of that particular class.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
So if I write, if I run it, you can see this inside employee function, inside employee function. So employee function run two times
Yeah.
because I have written two times employee here and employee here, and this is
Yeah.
used directly, and this one is using class name. Correct.
Yeah.
So this thing is completed, and we cover this also, static and non-static method also we cover, right?
Yeah.
Within that, the same example I would say. Okay,
Yeah.
the constructor. What do you mean by a constructor?
Constructor. I remember you mentioned something about constructor in previous classes.
Hmm.
Uh.
Okay, so fine, no problem. So I'll be
Okay.
writing some important points regarding the constructors,
Okay.
and just try to, you know, remember all these things.
Okay.
And then this is more important. And in any interview, you will get definitely one question about this constructor,
Okay.
and what is the overloading, and what is overriding, and what
Okay.
is the oops concept. Okay,
Okay.
so definitely you will get one question, not one, many of the questions they will ask about these things. So be careful and just try to remember all these things.
Okay.
Interview point of view, it is more important.
Okay.
Okay, fine, fine. So constructor, I'll write some important point over here.
Hmm.
Constructor is used to create the object of corresponding class. Okay,
Yeah.
once you create any constructor in a class, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that will internally create one object of
Okay.
a particular class, and that will initialize, okay, these members and or i- basically we use constructor to initialize any variable, okay, present within
Okay.
that class,
Yeah.
correct. So the
Yes.
constructor is used to create the object of the corresponding class.
Yeah.
Let me write it. Constructor is used
Yeah.
to create the
Okay.
object of a corresponding object of a corresponding class,
Yeah.
correct. And
Yes.
so therefore the constructor name, this is more important,
Okay.
constructor name is same as the class name, okay. Whatever the class name is, the constructor name is also the same, okay.
Okay.
This is one rule I can say of
Okay.
Java. Constructor name should be same as of the class name, correct.
Okay. Yeah.
And the second one is a constructor does not have any return type, okay.
Yeah.
Does not have a return type, not even null. It will not return anything,
Okay.
okay, and not even null also.
Okay.
We'll see each points.
Okay.
And constructor cannot use any access modifier, okay. Can't use any access modifier, okay.
Yeah.
Then constructor is two type basically, I would say. Constructor,
Yeah.
so one type is
Yeah.
parameterized, okay.
Yes.
Parameterized, and the second non-parameterized or default constructor.
Yeah.
Or I can say it's a default constructor,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
So we'll see how parameterized and default constructor we use in Java.
Yeah.
And one more thing, most important interview question.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Most important interview question over here is constructor cannot be overridden. Sorry, overridden We'll talk more about this overridden and overloading and overriding.
Okay.
Okay. So constructor cannot be overridden, but can be overloaded. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, you can see you might ask one question that
Yeah.
the first line is saying to create any object we need a constructor, right? Or
Yeah.
once we create any object, one default constructor will be called. Okay. Basically, we do not use any constructor over here in this class.
Yeah.
Is there any method having the same name of class fundamentals? No, not present. Here,
No.
not present. Correct? Because we are once we use any new keyword, or once we use any uh, object creation, once we try to create any object, so it will call one constructor. Okay, from here, this thing
Yeah.
will call this thing. How to use public this constructor name only. This is a constructor, there is no return type. Have I written anything called void or any integer or anything? So
No.
if you do not use any void or something, only public or class name, okay,
Yeah.
then it is called constructor. Okay, there is no return type over here, and the name is same as that of class name. So this is the
Okay.
feature. If you find this feature present within a method, then you can call it as a constructor.
Okay.
Okay, and there is no parameter present. What is the parameter? I'll talk about it. So when you try to write anything within this
Mm-hmm.
constructor or within this method, that is called a parameters. We need to pass any parameters.
Okay.
Fine. So once you try to create any object of any particular class, then automatically this thing will refer to this particular constructor. Okay,
Okay.
but we haven't written in here, right? So in JVM, okay, JVM, if there is no constructor present within that class, automatically it will call a default constructor. So default
Yeah.
constructor is this one is called a default constructor. One second. Yeah, this is called a default constructor. Okay, having
Yeah.
nothing within present within this, and there is no parameter also present. So this is called a default.
Okay.
Okay, but if we do not write, that is also fine. JVM will automatically create one default constructor for it.
Okay.
That's fine. Then
Yeah.
let's create one example for this particular thing. Okay, so let me take one example. Let me create one class, and I'll be naming it as a constructor.
Mm-hmm.
Constructor example, the class name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, then finish, and then you need to, as usual, you need to write this main function also, public static void main. Okay,
Yeah.
and here I'll be calculating the area
Okay.
rectangle area. Okay, for that I need the length. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and breadth. Okay,
Yeah.
this thing I'll be needing to calculate any area of a rectangle.
Okay.
Okay? So area is equal to length into breadth, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So we'll be calculating this length into breadth, and that is area.
Okay.
Suppose I have width and I need to write over here length. We need to declare and uh, initialize. Okay.
Okay.
Suppose length we can have anything. We can
Yeah.
use in double, right? Because
Yeah.
basically we use double while calculating any uh, length or something in distance. Okay, because
Yeah.
it's 2.00 meter or 2 point, so this is basically decimal things, right?
Yeah.
2.3 meter, 2.5 meter, so basically we take it as a double. We can take it as a
Yeah.
integer as well, but if you take integer then decimal point will not come under this, right?
Yeah.
So double width I can say, and then double length.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the declaration. Let me create one constructor.
Okay.
Constructor of this class. So constructor name should be the same as the class name. All right.
Yeah.
So let me just create. Okay.
Yeah.
Then go to it. And here you need to assign the values of this variables. Okay.
Okay.
Width. So width equal to 10. Okay. And then length equal to I would say 20.
Yeah.
Fine. Then
Yeah.
if I, okay, then I can say I can have calculate area method is there. Okay. Calculate area
Yeah.
is present, and this will return me. Okay. Okay, I can say area or double area. Area equals width, okay, into breadth or length, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So it's saying need to write one return type. So return type is this method will return one value that is called the area. Okay, if I write this return area,
Yeah.
correct. So this one will return me, okay, this will return me one area of this particular thing.
Okay.
Once I try to create this method, once I try to create one object of this particular class, okay, so then
Yeah.
that will initialize the value of width and length, then I'll be getting this area. So how to do this? I would say the class name, then object name. Object name I can give anyone, any name. Object one, suppose, equals new, then this name, correct.
Yeah.
Then here, once I create this object declaration,
Yeah.
once I create any object declaration, okay, so it will call a default constructor, because you can see the parameter, there is no parameter over here present. Okay,
Yeah.
here this constructor name is same to this one, you can
Yeah.
see, right? Because after new we always use this class name within this bracket. Why?
Yeah.
Because it is calling this constructor, default constructor, correct. That is why
Yeah.
we use this bracket. Okay,
Yes.
so basically this represent the constructor name.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
Once we call this constructor, and that will assign this value to 10 and 20 to width and length.
Okay.
Once we assign this value, we can call this calculate area. This is more important. Just try to understand, and I think it will be clear. Okay. Object one, then we need to get this calculate area. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's run it. So what would be the answer?
200.
200. But we haven't, have we printed it? We need to print it, right?
Yeah.
And so let's print it. For that we need to save it with a variable double uh, area area 1. Okay, then I need to print it area 1,
Yeah.
correct. Now if I try to print, so it's giving me 200.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if this is a hard coded, right? Always whenever I try to print this thing, this area, okay,
Yeah.
I'll always get 200 because I have already assigned this value to 10 and 20, correct.
Okay.
But what if I want a dynamic values when I enter this length and width of my choice only,
Yeah.
and that will this calculate the area automatically. So how to
Okay.
do this? Okay, I need to create another constructor. Okay,
Yeah.
which will take, okay, which will take this double, I would say width, okay, and double length,
Yeah.
and I will assign this W or L or whatever assign, or these are the dynamic values I will be providing from here, correct?
Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
why I have just written a reference or a reference to these things. I can say
Okay.
width equals W and the length equal to length, correct? So
Yeah.
once I need to create another object for this. The same thing I can write over here, and this is called, sorry, parameterize constructor,
Yeah.
because we are taking parameters. These are the
Yeah.
parameters. Okay, parameter to this
Yes.
particular constructor.
Yeah.
Okay, it is constructor because the class name and this method name is same and there is no return time. That's why we will call it as a constructor.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So I'll create another object of this, name it as
Okay.
object 2, and for object 2 you can have this thing called 30 and 20.
Yeah.
Okay, and this one is area 2, and this will calculate your area.
Okay.
Let's see. So what would be the answer for this one?
600.
600, correct? So let's run it. Why? Because we are giving here dynamically, right? 30
Yeah.
and 20. But in case of this, we cannot change it because we have already written over here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a 600.
Yes.
Correct? So if I write this one multiple times, okay,
Yeah.
let's see, of multiple times I'll be writing the same and creating one more object, object 3. Okay, and in this time I'll give it as 20 20. Okay, this is 20,
Yeah.
length is 20, width is 20, correct? So, and this is my area 3, and this is my object 3.
Yeah.
I have created one more object for this, right?
Yeah.
So this time what would be the answer
Answer would be 400.
for this is 400. I have this, for this one is 200, this one is 600, this one is 400. Let's run it.
Yeah.
Okay, 200, 600, and 400.
Yeah.
I'm just changing this value, right? I
Yeah.
can write 1,000 times or more than that. Okay, only this one line. I'm not going to write again and again all these things, right?
Okay.
I'm not Am I writing this calculate area multiple times? No, I'm using the same calculate area method over here, okay, using a different object and with giving a different parameterized parameters to a constructor.
Okay.
Fine. So you understood this, how parameterization works.
Yes.
Okay. So this is called a constructor parameterization. Okay. The next
Okay.
thing is the default constructor also we cover, right? The default
Yeah.
constructor is something in where we do not enter any parameters. Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever we create any object, a default constructor will be called, right?
Okay.
Fine. Then the next concept is the method overloading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, what is a method overloading? Method overloading is something where this the method name is having the same. Okay. We are
Mm-hmm.
just changing this parameters. Okay. Signature of particular parameters.
Okay.
Right. So let's see how this overloading concept is we will use it over here.
Okay.
When two or more methods are defined within the same class, okay, this is the condition, I would say, for method overloading. When two or more methods having same name is or are are defined within the same class, okay.
Yeah.
But in case of overriding, the class is different,
Mm-hmm.
okay, child and parent class. Okay, we'll talk about that overriding. For overloading, this method are present within the same class but having different parameters or different
Okay.
arguments. Okay, same name but taking different types of arguments. The methods are said to be overloaded. Okay, method
Yeah.
overloading is a very good feature in object oriented concept. Okay, oops concept. So you definitely will get one question regarding this in interview.
Okay.
Okay, they will ask you what is the difference between method overloading and method overriding. You need to
Okay.
answer this. So basically, what is the difference between and what are the benefits we got from this? Can you just tell me what are the benefit that we got from here? This default constructor and this parameterized constructor. Can you just tell
Like
me what are the
we need,
yeah? Mhm.
like we can do this for, we can enter the variable values any, like we can enter 30, 20, 40, 20, anything we can enter.
Anything.
Dynamic thing.
Okay. So that means we are reusing this particular thing, right?
Yeah.
Reuse. Reusability is more in this case, correct?
Yes.
We are not writing calculate area method again and again and again. We are
Yeah.
just calling this constructor or parameterized constructor only once, okay? And here we can just initialize or we can enter any parameter or argument to it, okay, that
Yeah.
will automatically calculate area method, okay.
Okay.
So we are not going to write again like calculate area length equal to 30, then width equal to 20, then calculate area length into breadth equal to something. So this is why we use method overloading, okay. method
Yeah.
overloading and method overriding. Both are the concept, okay, where our code reusability, okay, we can get a reusable things in this particular area, right?
Yeah.
So this is our main advantage of overloading. And one more, okay, just let me give you one example of this overloading. Then after that, we'll talk more about this overloading concept. Okay, getting right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine. So I have a class called overload method. Okay, so I can write one main class first. Okay, this is my class. Here I'll be writing any variables
Yeah.
or any methods I can define, I can declare, right?
Yeah.
So this is my first method, suppose a void so or a display. Let's see, start a display. Display is a method. In this, I'm saying, hey, there is no parameter,
Yeah.
okay, or no arguments. Okay, in this case, I haven't taken any arguments or
Yeah.
parameters. And let's see, same thing, I'll be writing, same thing I'll be writing, but it will give me one error because I have written the same thing. There is no difference, correct?
Yeah.
So that's why it's saying, hey, just can you just change the name to something different because I have already this same method present. Okay,
Yeah.
but if you write something over here like int a, okay, so that error is gone now, correct?
Yeah.
The name is same, the display name, this method and this method is same, correct? But
Yeah.
we have added one more uh, step over here, that is called parameters. We have added one parameter to it. We overloaded this method with one parameter. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me just print that value
Okay.
here. One parameter, I can say one parameter is present, and that is the a, correct? Whatever
Yeah.
I'll be entering here, I'll be just printing that as well. So this is
Yeah.
one, and another one I'll be writing display, okay, and in
Yeah.
here I'll be writing int, or I can say like
Yeah.
double double a
Yeah.
int b. I can have multiple arguments or multiple parameters having different
Yeah.
different data type as well. Okay, you can
Yeah.
see here there is a double or integer, or I can say this is integer, correct?
Yeah.
For the instance being, I'm just writing double and double, correct? And here I'll be saying, hey, this is a doubly parameterized
Yeah.
method. Is this a constructor or something different? Can you just tell me?
No, this is the constructor itself.
Is this a constructor? So can you just check? Have you noted down this constructor properties? No?
Like we.
Okay, let me just recap. Okay, constructor is used to create the object of corresponding class. That is fine. Constructor name is same as class name. Okay, and
Okay.
constructor does not have a return type.
Okay.
Can you just check? So this name is same as this class name?
No,
No, right? So the first criteria is fail. That means it is not a constructor, it's a method
it's a
or
method.
it's a
Yeah.
function. Okay, fine. Then if the name is same but there is a return type, then that also is not a constructor, that is also a method. The name is same but there is a return
Okay.
type. The void is present, right?
Yeah.
If that is present, then it will be a method, general method. Okay. So in this case, we are writing methods. Okay. Double parameterized method.
Yeah.
So the value of A and B, I would say A, then B equals B. Correct. So likewise, I can have n number of parameters. Okay. Or
Yeah.
multiple parameter we can have. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll be just creating how to. Okay. So how to access these methods from or how to write this method, how to access. You need to create one object, right?
Yeah.
I need to create one object. Okay. Object obj1 equals, correct?
Yeah.
Then class name, or I have missed something, I believe. What what the thing I missed? Can you just tell me? Correct me.
Overloading method OPG.
What I missed? I missed
Uh.
new keyword, right?
Yeah.
New keyword,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the declaration, or this is the syntax of creation
Yes.
creation of a
Yeah.
object, right? Then I need to access these variables, sorry, these methods. Okay, how to access this obj1 dot display. Okay,
Yeah.
you can see it's showing me the three methods present: display, 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 but having different parameters. Okay,
Yes.
this is the first one, obj1 dot display. The second one, here I need to give the integer value, suppose 10 or 20, whatever.
Yeah.
Then obj1 dot display. Here I need to give two value,
Yeah.
suppose 30.0 and another one is 45 point or 45 only because it's
Yeah.
an integer value. Okay, let me run it. Let's see what's the answer. Okay, so the first one, obj1 display, no arguments. But for
Hmm.
second one, obj1 dot display 20. So I have given or entered this 20 dynamically, right? So
Yeah.
that is assigned to this variable. 20 is being printed over here in this line,
Yeah.
and double parameterized method. So a and b 30.0 and b equal to 45. Okay,
Yeah.
the same line I can repeat. Okay, n number of time.
Yeah.
But here I need to create one more object. Not this is not one. This is two. This is also two. This is also two. But in this
Yeah.
case, I'll be writing instead of 20, I can have something different, 50. And in
Yeah.
this case, 10
Yeah.
or 0. And in this case, 85. Okay. The
Yeah.
same method, I'm not going to change anything over here. I'm just entering the parameters. I'm just changing the parameters over here. And this method will be changed accordingly. Because
Okay.
this object contain the properties of all these methods or all these class. Okay. And
Yeah.
this object also will uh, um, this object too also will have access to all these methods and variable, but it will save or save in other location, memory location. Okay,
Okay.
and this one also will save in a different memory location because this object and this object is different. This is object
Okay.
1 and this is object 2. So object
Okay.
will have access to the members and data member and member functions of a particular class. Correct?
Okay.
So let me run it. So you can see no arguments, then one parameterize is 20, double parameterize method is uh, a and b is 30, okay,
Yeah.
and 45. And for
Okay.
second one, this object 2, no argument again, okay, then one parameter is present, that is 50. I have
Yeah.
provided here 50, then double parameterize is 10.0 and 85. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is why we use this method overloading concept. Okay,
Okay.
then the next one was constructor overloading. The same thing, same concept, but in case of method, we'll be writing constructors. Okay,
Yeah.
so in
Yes.
this
Yes.
case, no arguments, constructor display. In place of display, I'll be writing constructor, and I do not have to write the void. I need to now it becomes constructor. Sorry, I haven't. Okay, 1 second. I need to paste over here. Method overloading. Okay,
Yeah.
then constructor overloading. In constructor overloading, you need to write this.
Mhm.
Method name is same as the class name, and there is no return type. Okay, but in this case, there is nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's run two things. Okay,
Yeah.
let's run. What's the answer? We'll see. So you can see, 1 minute. I have two objects, correct?
Yeah.
Overloading method object one, okay, having no parameters. Okay, because if constructor has some parameter, you must assign that parameter to over here while creating one object. Okay,
Okay.
need to pass these parameters to here while creating any object of that
Okay.
particular class. Okay, you can find out the difference between that.
Yeah.
In that case, we were just creating object, and through object we are accessing the methods. But here in this case, we are creating object. Okay,
Yeah.
and that object of that particular class we are parameterizing.
Okay.
Okay, let me just do it. In this case, there are two parameters. Okay, this is 25.0 because it was double,
Yeah.
and this is anything you can take, 50
Okay.
suppose. And this name is giving some error because the object 2 is already being present, so we can name it as a different object name. So
Okay.
let it be object 3, correct?
Okay.
So let's run it. What's the answer? Let's see. Okay, there is only, I have created 3 objects, but I'm getting only 3 answers.
Okay.
Okay, but in that case, I was creating 2 objects and accessing 3 methods for each objects. Okay,
Yes.
that's why I got 2 results for that. But in
Yeah.
here, I'm getting only 1 result.
Okay.
If I comment out or remove the first one, okay, okay, if I'm writing only this particular line, okay,
Yeah.
only 25 or doubly parameterized, so it will only go to this particular constructor,
Okay.
not this one and this one. This is a no argument constructor. This is a one parameterized constructor, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll not able to access this constructor, first constructor. Okay, so you can you just tell me what the difference you find out constructor overloading and method overloading? Hello, Aditya?
Just a minute. Like,
Hmm?
there is
Your
public.
voice
There
is
is
not
only.
coming.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, now it's fine.
There is public only public class in the overloading method, and
Hmm.
there is public static void in the overloading method.
Yeah, that was a method, right? Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So in methods, we have one return type, okay,
Yeah.
and We have some different name, or we can have the same name as a class name as well in method as well,
Uh-huh.
but there must be one return type.
Yeah.
And in that case, we are accessing that method using the object name, correct?
Yeah.
But in constructor, there is no return type, and the name of that method is same as that class name. And one more important thing, while creating an object, you need to pass these parameters or argument, okay, to this particular method here.
Yeah.
New overloading or class name. This is a class name, and here you need to pass these arguments. Correct?
Okay.
So this is the difference between this method overloading and constructor overloading.
Yeah.
Let me write the example over here. Okay, now
Yeah.
you got it. What is the difference? And here, okay, fine. Where it is? Okay, fine. So, so this is all about the constructor overloading and method overloading. The next thing will be talking about this keyword. This keyword, I would say this keyword, and this is more important because in our program we'll be using a lot of time this
Yeah.
keyword. So basically, why you use this keyword? Okay, to access, okay, to access any local variables, okay, not local
Yeah.
variable within a particular class. In the same class, if we want to access any variable or any methods, okay, within the same class, correct, we
Yeah.
use this keyword, correct.
Yeah.
Suppose there is an example over here. Let me create one more class, and I'll name it as a this keyword. Okay, the same example will be taking for this thing. Let me constructor area. Okay, yes, this one. I'll be taking the same example.
Yeah.
Just copy paste. Okay, so okay, so here there is one main method. Okay, and in here I have declare length and width, correct?
Yeah.
Fine. So I need to initialize this variable first. Okay, then I'll be calculating the areas.
Yeah.
How to do it? First of all, I suppose I create one constructor. Why we use a constructor? To initialize any variables. Okay, let me just write this keyword. Okay, because this is a constructor, and this name should be same as of class name, correct?
Yeah.
And suppose this is my parameterized constructor. Here I'll be taking width and length,
Link.
double width, and this is a double length. Correct. Here I'll be assigning this dot width, okay, equal to suppose I'm writing here w and write this as length. Correct. So I'll assign this value to length, this dot length equal to L. Correct.
Yeah.
And this method will return me the area. Okay. So basically this means, okay, this keyword will access the local methods which is present within this particular class only. Okay, within this
Yeah.
class, let's see what this keyword contains. You can see, so this keyword contains a length, width, calculate area, whatever methods, whatever variable present within that particular class, it contains all the methods.
Yeah.
Correct. So if we want to initialize or yeah, if we want to initialize any variable, if we want to access it, then we use this keyword within that particular class only. We cannot access any variable that is present in different class. Correct.
Okay.
Suppose in overloading method, there is some other variable present, so we cannot use this keyword to access that. But using super keyword, we can access that in inheritance concept. Okay,
Okay.
we'll talk about that super keyword later on. So okay, fine. So this keyword, this class name is this keyword, constructor example. Let me, so it is giving me one error because it's saying, hey, you have one constructor who is take 2 arguments, you need to provide that. So let's provide it. What's the answer? Suppose I can tell 20.0. 1 second, I'm getting one call.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So this keyword, and I can provide 2 arguments, 20.0 and 30.0. So my result or my area would be 600.
600.
Let's see, 600. Correct. So
Yeah.
now you can understand what is the use of this keyword. Correct.
Okay.
So let's paste it. Just go through this concept, whatever we cover today.
Okay.
We'll be continuing this class, and in the next class we'll be talking more about this file input output, and then we'll be
Okay.
talking about uh, this thing exception handling, then we'll be talking about oops concepts. Okay, what is
Okay.
the inheritance and all the thing. After that we'll be doing our selenium automation training. Okay,
Okay. Sure.
is that fine?
So tomorrow we are having class, right?
Tomorrow is Saturday, right? Saturday, yes.
Yeah.
We'll be having a class. Uh, uh, we'll start at the 9 a.m. Is that fine?
9 a.m. means it
Of
is.
my time. I mean,
Okay. Sure. No, no problem. No
now it
problem. Like.
is 8:30 a.m. here.
Okay. So you're talking about 8 p.m. or in the morning or at night?
So
Your night.
this time, I think this is the 8:30 of my time.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
that's fine. That's perfect actually. No problem.
Okay.
Means when I come to office, I can cook and it will give me some time. So no
Okay.
problem.
Okay. So just let me know once you have some bandwidth so we can uh,
Sure,
do it accordingly, right?
absolutely. Sure, sure, absolutely.
Then, or we can have also in your morning time as well if you want.
Okay, but no, I think 8:30 is good time.
This time is fine for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay then. Okay then we'll start tomorrow at the same time.
Okay, okay, sure, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Just let
Yeah.
me know. Uh,